In this video, I'm going to be ranking the best value cards right now in NBA 2K25 Myteam on a tier list here, ranking from S that does go all the way down to D tier, and we have about 50-ish of the best value cards in this game. And what I do mean by a very good value card or the best value cards, these are just going to be all of the cards that I think are really good for their price tag. So if a card's only like 5 to 10,000 MT, but plays at a level of a card that's 100,000, 200,000 MT, that is to me really good value. And I think a good example is the first two cards we have on this tier list. Now at the shooting guard position, I think Dr. J Pink Diamond is better than Joe Johnson. So for me, Joe Johnson, he goes for 100k plus. Dr. J's 35, 40k, a lot better value in my personal opinion. So I think Joe Johnson is probably one of the worst value cards in this game just because of the price he goes for compared to how good of a card he is. Where Pink Diamond Dr. J, I would say is most likely an A tier because again, he's a lot cheaper of a card and I do think he's quite a bit better in my personal opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, of course, what would you guys change about this tier list? Let me know what cards do you guys really like for their price value. On this tier list, we'll have some budget options, cards that are really cheap, but I think are really good for their price. And then of course, cards that are more in that mid tier and more in that expensive range as well that I do think are really good for their price tag. Anthony Morrow, I would say C tier is a fair spot for him. He's a good Pink Diamond point guard. He's got a good jump shot and he's only 5,000 MT, but I don't know if I can put him extremely high just because I think there's better cards for that price tag, but I do think he's really good at the point guard position. Talking about Pink Diamond Wemby, I'm still going to say he's an S tier value card. I think this card is still unbelievably overpowered, especially if you know how to use him. Now, Wemby can be really accessible to a majority of the player base, and he can be a card that you can just pick up the game for the first time and have a lot of success with. But I think to really excel using this Pink Diamond Wemby, you got to know how to use him properly, especially on defense, because he's not fast enough to guard these centers with 95 speed, 99 speed. He's not fast enough to do that, but you have to really be smart on defense and use this card properly. And then on offense, you got to know how to take advantage of people falling asleep on defense, because with this card, if somebody does not jump to contest your shot with Pink Diamond Wemby, you are going to be wide open, and he has a very good jump shot. So you have to take advantage of people falling asleep on defense, not paying attention, and really be able to maximize this card for him to be an S tier value card. The Pink Diamond Wemby has gone down to like 125k, 150,000 MT in price, and to me that is really good value for still a top tier center. Looking at the can never pronounce his name, dude. Delano Banton Diamond card, I think he's probably A tier. He's a 6'8" point guard with a really good jump shot. That's all you really need to know. He's 5,000 MT, maybe 10k at the most, depending when you're looking at the auction house. Really great card. I mean, 6'8", he can handle the basketball, he plays good defense, and does have a really nice jump shot. I think for his price and how good of a card he is, I do think he's going to be an A tier. Talking about Pink Diamond Kalel Ware, I think for me personally, he's probably an A. I would still give Kalel Ware that A tier category. I mean, he's under 20k, he's normally like 15,000 MT, he's a really good defensive power forward and does have a nice jump shot. Pink Diamond Beasley, for me personally, easily going to be an S. I mean, again, like Victor Wembanyama, a card that most people can pick up and have a lot of success with, but especially if you know what you're doing offensively, you know how to do that glitchy snatchback animation, you know how to use the fade, the Cameron Thomas fade, and that type of stuff, and you know how to dribble with this card, and you're really good with his jump shot, he can still be one of the best small forwards in this entire game. So I really do like Pink Diamond Beasley at the small forward position. Again, for his price of only like 60,000 MT on Xbox right now, he sometimes goes even as low as 40 to 45k, but I do think Beasley's going to be an S tier. Now, Manu Ginobili is probably also an S tier in my personal opinion. I think he's really good offensively at the point guard position. I think he's a point guard that can compete against the top level point guards for like 125 to 150k, and when he goes down in price, he'll probably become a buy now over the next couple weeks. But I really do like Manu at that point guard position. Pink Diamond Stephon Castle, I would say is C tier, most likely alongside Anthony Morrow. I think he's really good. I still think they're both really good budget point guards. Stephon Castle really good defensively, Anthony Morrow more so on the offensive end, but I like Stephon Castle. Is he the best value card in this game anymore? No, but I do think he's really solid at that C tier category. I would say Keegan Murray, probably going to be in like D tier. He's not a bad card whatsoever, but like 30,000 MT is just not that, like, I don't know, 30,000 MT seems a little bit expensive for this card, who I don't think is all that amazing at small forward. I do think he's solid. We're probably going to be one of the weaker value cards on this list. Now, Pink Diamond Amore Caspi I think is really good. I would say probably B tier though. Maybe higher, man. Amore Caspi is really good, but I'll go high B tier for now. We got to have some cards in that B tier category, but Amore Caspi has a really quick jump shot. He has the tray escape, which is nice. This is a really good 6'9" shooting guard. easily want to put him in the B tier category. Talking about Dark Matter Bargnani, I would say probably high B tier, maybe low A. Like he's a better card than Kalel Ware, but he does go for like 150k. He's at least 100,000 MT on Xbox, and it's like he's really good. But I think when we're talking about a value card tier list, I don't know if I can put him any higher than B tier just because of his price at the power 4 position. For example, Miles Turner, most likely a better card than Bargnani, and he's also cheaper. So for me personally, I'm gonna throw Miles Turner in the A tier category because, again, like I said, I think he's a better power 4 card than Bargnani, and he's also like 30 to 50k cheaper, at least on Xbox as of right now. Now talking about the Dark Matter Elixir, I think this card is one of the more expensive value cards in this one of the more expensive cards on this tier list, but I do think he's still one of the best value cards in this game. He's really good defensively at the power 4 position, and he also does have a great jump shot. Dark Matter Tim Thomas, same exact thing. One of the more expensive cards on this list, but I do think is extremely good at small forward and one of the best value cards in this game. He is so good offensively, 6'10" at small forward with an elite level jump shot. Talking about Rudy Gay, I think B tier is probably a fair spot for him. He's like 50-60k, maybe even a little bit more expensive now that the market's back up in price for Galaxy Opals, but he usually drops to like 40 to 50k when the market does crash for Galaxy Opals. But still, he's not like the best small forward in this game anymore. He's still really good. He's got a good jump shot, good at slashing to the basket, but could be a better defender, and I think for that reason he's going to be in the B tier category. Talking about KPJ, I would say probably B tier for him. He's got a good jump shot, could use some more defense, could be a little bit taller at point guard, but for me personally, I think he's better than Stephon Castle and Anthony Morrow. Galaxy Opal Dino Raja, definitely want to consider this card for S, but I would say high A tier for Dino Raja. He's a really good power forward card. He's got a good jump shot. He plays extremely good defense, and he's only like 60k. Usually goes down to like 45,000 MT, which is really not that expensive for a really good all-around power forward card. Thabo Sevalyosha, I would say is B tier. He's kind of on that same ranking as an Amori Caspi. Really good cards. They're cheap. They play good defense. Maybe not Amori Caspi defensively. He's more of an offensive shooting guard, but Thabo Sevalyosha plays really good defense and does have a nice jumper at the shooting guard position. I think Vlade Divac probably in like C tier. I'm not a huge fan of this Vlade Divac card, just personally. I think he's good, but for his price, I do wish he was a little bit cheaper. Talking about Dark Matter Chet, it's pretty much the same thing as Dark Matter Elixir. They're very similar at the power forward position. I would say they're probably the best player comp for each other at the power forward spot. They have those kind of slender player builds, but get really good defensive animations and can compete against some of the top centers in my team. And I think for their price tag, easily going to be in the S tier category. Talking about Ricky Davis, I like him in A tier. I think he's kind of on that same ranking as a Pink Diamond Dr. J. He's like 45-50k right now. He's got a good jump shot. I like Ricky Davis as an all-around shooting guard. Hassan Whiteside for me is probably B tier. He's not a bad center power forward option. He plays extremely good defense. He's very physical at the power forward or center spot. I like the ability to play the power forward position. I do wish his jump shot was a little bit better. Talking about Dark Matter Ron Artest, one of the best value cards in this game, but I don't know if I could put him in S tier. I think he's very close to being an S, but I think he's probably one of the best cards in A tier. He's only like 200k MT at the most on Xbox, and he's got a really good jump shot and is one of the best defensive guards in this game. So I do think A tier is a fair spot for Ron Artest. Porzingis, really good because of his price, but I think realistically, because of the speed being a lot lower, he's going to have to be in that high B tier category. He's only like 25-30k, maybe 35,000 MT at the most on Xbox right now. He's cheap and he's a good card, but he's not like the greatest center in this world, and he can't play the power forward position. So I do think Porzingis is going to be in B tier. Talking about Wendell Carter Jr., not a bad budget card, but I do think C tier is probably a fair spot. Kyle Korver for his price, I mean, I would much rather run an Amori Caspi and a Sevalyosha at the shooting guard position. So Korver might honestly be in D tier. I just don't think he's really worth his price. Now talking about Dark Matter Michael Beasley, I mean, even though I think his Pink Diamond could be argued the better value card, just because he's only 50,000 MT compared to 500k, but I do think Dark Matter Beasley being the second best small forward in this game, or third best small forward if you count Kevin Durant at the small forward position. I don't know. To me, I think that makes sense to put Dark Matter Beasley in the S tier category, even though he's really expensive. Matt Barnes is solid. I would say Matt Barnes is probably going to be in that low B tier category. Crusoe's also really good. I would say Crusoe's going to be an A tier. He plays extremely good defense. I like Crusoe all the way around at the point guard position. Tyson Chandler, really good for his price. He's like 2,000 MT on Xbox, and to me, that is really, really good. He plays extremely good defense. He's got a good jump shot. I think Tyson Chandler for that cheap price tag is going to be in B tier. Roy Hibberts, I really love this card. I know a lot of people might have different opinions on Roy Hibberts. Some people don't like this card because of his jump shot, and I can completely understand that argument and that side of things, but I actually don't mind his jump shot, and I think his defense and his player model is one of the most valuable things in this game, and I do think Roy Hibbert for his price tag is one of the best value cards in my team. But I'm also going to move Bargnani up into A tier because I feel like if Roy Hibbert's there, you also got to have Bargnani. Now, talking about Jared Wallace, he to me seems more like a B tier card. He's like 35k, 40,000 MT, but he does play extremely good defense. Eddie Curry is so good. I mean, he's definitely above Porzingis at center. I think he's a slightly better center card than Porzingis, also with a better jump shot, and does play the power forward position. So I think Pink Diamond Eddie Curry is going to be an A tier. Talking about Kobe White, honestly, one of the weaker budget cards in this game, in my personal opinion, and he's still sort of expensive because of the dynamic duo with that Galaxy Polari marketing card. Tyler Hansbrough, one of the best value cards in this game. I think he's going to be an A tier, extremely good for his price. I just don't know if I could put him in the S tier category because Luol Deng, right? I mean, he's only 200,000 MT on Xbox, maybe 250k at the most, and is seriously one of the best all-around small forwards in this game. They gave him a really good jump shot, the Donovan Mitchell base, Oscar Robertson upper on very quick time, and they gave him great dribble sigs, and he's already such a great defender that I do think he's going to be an S tier. Carlos Boozer feels like a lower A tier card to me. He plays good defense on the interior, and he does have a nice catch and shoot jump shot. Rocco, to me, probably also feels like A tier. I do think he's a little bit better than Amori Caspi at shooting guard, and also Matt Barnes and Seven Losha, that I do think he's going to be an A tier. I mean, he's 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan at shooting guard, and also does play extremely good defense. Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels, call me crazy, but I do think is an A tier. I love this card at point guard. I mean, he can compete against the best point guards in this game for 30,000 MT because of his defense. Terry Dischinger also feels like A tier to me. I know he can't play shooting guard and he's a little bit undersized at small forward, but the offense that Terry Dischinger brings, I still feel like deserves him to be in A tier. Bobby Portis is decent, kind of on that same ranking as Wendell Carter Jr. Jonathan Bender, I think at this point in the game, probably going to be in B tier. Antoine Jameson also going to be in B tier. I will give Jaren Jackson Jr. that low A tier category, though I think he's really good defensively at the power forward position. Now, Dark Matter AK is kind of on that same ranking as a Beasley, a Tim Thomas, you know, at the small forward position. Luol Deng, those cards are all around the same ranking in my personal opinion. Dante Exum is pretty good. I would say Dante Exum is probably in that high C tier category, and I would say Malcolm Brogdon is probably also in that C tier category as well. But in my opinion, guys, these are going to be all of the best value cards in my team. I think these cards are really good for their price, especially any card in S, any card in A, and realistically any card in B. I really do recommend for their price. I think C tier are decent cards. They're definitely not bad cards, especially for their price, but I just don't think they're the best, you know, for their exact value. And then I would personally stay away from the cards in D tier. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my best value card tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.